Well, in the final meeting before the August break, Columbus City Council members had a jam-packed agenda.
2 items: funding to potentially reinstall the controversial Christopher Columbus statue and a set of 3 ordinances that would serve as a comprehensive reproductive package were among those items. New at 11, NBC4's Sierra Johnson joins us now with an update on where those items stand tonight. You were keeping an eye on, Council.
I was listening in, Carrie and Colleen, and I can tell you one of those items was tabled with no timeline as to when it could be discussed again. But let's start with the item, or rather the trio of items that sponsors say collectively will protect abortion and reproductive health care within city limits. Now, this 3-pronged legislative package was authored by the council's Women Caucus. One portion of the legislation includes a $1 million grant to abortion right groups to provide funding for education about health care options, as well as to remove barriers to accessing abortions. Another prong deprioritizes the prosecution of abortion-related crimes, shifting the focus away from investigating pregnancy outcomes and those health-related decisions. That final portion of the package would authorize the city to investigate what President Pro Tem Elizabeth Brown called, quote, fake health clinics or crisis pregnancy centers, and allow the city to partner with Pro-Choice Ohio to conduct a study on whether Central Ohioans have access to accurate health-related information. At today's meeting, Councilmember Elizabeth Brown explained to the Diaz that this series of legislation has not only short-term, but a long-term impact.
The next 3 ordinances I will read represent the first steps in our long-term agenda for reproductive justice in Columbus. Because no one is free and no one is equal without control over their own bodies, lives, and futures.
Among the other items on today's very full agenda, an ordinance that would provide $250,000 in funding to potentially bring the statue of Christopher Columbus back to Columbus. For years, that statue stood in front of City Hall but was removed. The item was tabled indefinitely at tonight's meeting with no timeline of when the item would return for discussion.